Hi everyone, my name is Fischer, also known as the New York City Broker. Today I'm going to share some tips with you discussing what renters in New York City need to know about security deposits. First off, what is a security deposit? A security deposit is the amount of money a landlord can ask for besides the first month's rent when you move into an apartment. It can be used to cover the cost of repairs if you damage the property during your stay, or as payment if you leave without paying your last month's rent. Landlords have a right to collect security deposits, but there is a limit to how much they can ask for. Thanks to rent reforms that were just introduced to benefit renters, the security deposit in New York City at this time cannot be more than 1 month's rent. So what can the security deposit be used for? The security deposit you pay to your landlord can only be used to cover certain expenses. Your last month's rent if you don't pay it when you're moving out, the cost of repairs for any damage to the apartment. It doesn't include general wear and tear, which happens when you're simply occupying the apartment. Any paid utility bills and maintenance fees if you as the renter were supposed to pay the landlord directly, and cleaning costs to return the property in the condition it was originally handed over to the tenant. A landlord cannot use your security deposit however and whenever they wish. They are supposed to keep the security deposit in a New York State bank account that produces interest until needed. If the interest rate is higher than 1%, the landlord should keep the 1% and give the remainder to you. But this rule doesn't benefit the renter since interest rates are almost always below 1%. So when do you get the security deposit back? Landlords are legally required to pay back the security deposit to you within 14 days of you vacating or leaving the property. But you may not get the full deposit back. When you are leaving the property, the landlord can use the security deposit for the qualified expenses mentioned above. If there are no expenses, then you get the full security deposit back. If there are some expenses, but they are less than the amount of the security deposit, the landlord will pay you the difference. And if the security deposit is not enough to cover the expenses, you may have to pay the difference or take care of the repairs and other financial obligations. Legally, a landlord cannot keep part or all of your security deposit without just cause, and there are ways to ensure that you get your security deposit back. So how does that work? As a renter, you can get all of your security deposit back if you haven't caused any damage to the property, apart from general wear and tear as we discussed, and have met all your financial obligations, including rent and utilities if that's being paid to the landlord. Your goal should be to return the apartment to your landlord in the condition that you got it, or as close to it as possible. Here's some few things that you can do to make sure you get your full deposit back. Inspect the apartment thoroughly before you move in and document any problems and damages you see before taking the keys. Keep the apartment neat and clean and repair any damages that you have caused in the property and are your responsibility to fix, not your landlord's. Ideally, don't break your lease unless you get 100% approval from your landlord or management. This law is a bit unclear about whether a landlord can keep your security deposit if you break your lease after the rent reforms, but in some cases your deposit might be at risk. You have to help your landlord in re-renting the apartment and make sure that you're available to show the property. If there is no loss of rental income, you pay all your dues and you give proper notice, and you may walk away with your security deposit even after breaking your lease. But there might be another penalty written into your lease, so please make sure before doing that you find out exactly what the law indicates and what the management says. You have a legal right to request and be present at an inspection before you leave the apartment, and the landlord is required to inform you of this in writing. After the inspection, the landlord is obligated to provide you an itemized list of all the repairs and cleaning that you have to do. If you take care of every item on the list, they can't keep any part of your security deposit for damages to the apartment or for cleaning to get it back to its original form. If not, the landlord has the right to use part or all of your security deposit for the repairs. And make sure you meet all your financial obligations, including the utility bills, until the day you're leaving the apartment. Thanks so much for joining me in this discussion regarding what renters in New York City need to know about security deposits. If you have additional questions, please feel free to reach me at brett@thenewyorkcitybroker.com. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that you, your friends, and your family members can get all the best real estate content. I'm Brett Fischer, the New York City Broker. Have a great day.